Hello et bienvenue à tous dans ce 60e numéro du Rétro. Comme d'habitude, commençons en remerciant tous ceux qui soutiennent la chaîne et qui permettent de continuer la grande aventure des NBA Stories. Si vous appréciez ce projet et que vous souhaitez apporter votre pierre à l'édifice, sachez que vous pouvez désormais offrir un tip directement depuis YouTube en cliquant sur le cœur sous cette vidéo. Même le plus minime soutien est grandement apprécié. Merci à tous. La réalisation de cet épisode a été rendue possible grâce au nouveau partenaire des NBA Stories, l'application SoBet. Lâche tes pronos sans miser 1€. La saison NBA vient tout juste de commencer, et s'il était temps de démontrer tous vos talents de pronostiqueur. SoBet, c'est l'application du moment pour tous les pronostiqueurs et mordus de sport. Le but est simple, dans un contexte fun et ludique, faites des pronostics et prouvez au monde que vous êtes le meilleur à ce petit jeu. Toutes les semaines, il vous propose des challenges gratuits, avec des lots allant de 10 à 200€. SoBet compte une véritable communauté qui vous permettra de défier vos amis, mais aussi de grimper au classement des meilleurs pronostiqueurs de France. SoBet a été particulièrement intéressé pour collaborer et soutenir le travail des NBA Stories. Alors on compte sur vous pour télécharger leur application sur iOS et Android. Pour marquer le coup, SoBet vous propose un jeu concours pour tenter de gagner un display à l'image de LeBron James. Pour participer, répondez à cette question dans les commentaires. Quel est le joueur pour lequel LeBron James a délivré le plus de passes décisives dans sa carrière? Le vainqueur sera tiré au sort parmi les bonnes réponses et annoncé dans le prochain numéro. Bonne chance à tous! Nous avons aujourd'hui la chance de compter sur la participation de David Lee Morgan Jr. Ce dernier est un écrivain et journaliste sportif reconnu aux États-Unis, spécialisé dans les franchises de l'Ohio. Son intervention est un grand plaisir, car Morgan Jr. fut l'un des tout premiers à couvrir la carrière de LeBron James dès la fin des années 90. Son livre, The Rise of a Star, écrit alors que LeBron était encore au lycée, est un must-have pour tous ceux qui veulent découvrir la formidable ascension du King. Merci à lui d'avoir accepté de participer à cet épisode. C'est parti. Cleveland, 1999. Après un beau début de décennie pour l'équipe locale des Cavaliers, le futur s'annonçait toujours plus orageux. Avec l'un des pires effectifs de la ligue, la franchise proposait saison après saison une bouillie de basketball qui lui fit finir aux dernières places de sa conférence. De 1998 à 2003, les Cavaliers changèrent 5 fois de coach pour un bilan moyen de seulement 33% de victoire. Rien n'allait plus à Cleveland. Une ville maudite qui voyait toutes ses équipes sportives poursuivies par la défaite. Et pourtant, la descente aux enfers des Cavaliers coïncide parfaitement avec l'ascension de leur enfant prodige.
It hasn't been easy at all. You know, before I was in the stable house that I'm in now, I had moved at least 7 times in a year. And when I was living, when you was talking about Elizabeth Park, down in the projects, you know, it's hard times. You see everything from crackheads, you know, to drug dealers, to gunshots every night, to police sirens. And I think it just made me strong.
L'Ohio, comme tous les États du Midwest américain, connaissait une décrépitude économique depuis la fin de l'ère industrielle de la région. Les communautés afro-américaines furent les premières perdantes de ce déclin. De Chicago à Cleveland, nombreux étaient les ghettos insalubres où régnait la loi des gangs et le crépitement du crack. Parmi les jeunes qui grandirent dans cette misère se trouve un certain LeBron James. Né en 1984 à Akron, dans la grande banlieue de Cleveland, d'une mère de seulement 16 ans, James ne connut jamais son père, qui était un criminel absent de sa vie. Avec les maigres revenus de sa mère, James changea d'appartement plusieurs fois par an dans les quartiers malfamés d'Akron. Mais plus que jamais, l'enfance de LeBron James confirma que ce qui ne nous tue pas nous rend plus forts.
First of all, do you know your biological father's whereabouts?
No, not really. But, you know, I'm not really even concentrating on that because I really have my father and my mother all tied up in one.
You know, my mother being by herself and the father figuring out being there, that made me grow up a lot faster than I maybe wanted to.
Comme souvent, les grandes histoires sont faites de grandes rencontres. À l'âge de 9 ans, LeBron James s'installa chez Frank Walker, qui initia le jeune garçon en basketball. C'est à cette époque que LeBron se prit de passion pour la balle orange et fit la deuxième rencontre majeure de sa vie, le coach Drew Joyce.
You know, Coach Joyce is a great guy. You know, he was the first person to bring God into my life. You know, doing that for me That make me a better person and a better player too. Also, you know, from day one, never had a father figure. Always looked at as Gloria James as my father figure. So when I look at Coach Drew Joyce, it's like my father figure.
Coach amateur, Joyce décida de créer une équipe de jeunes collégiens pour participer à l'AAU, un tournoi de jeunes assez populaire aux États-Unis. C'est ainsi que débuta la grande aventure de LeBron, qui rejoignit les Ohio Shooting Stars avec des coéquipiers qui ne le quitteront plus jamais.
First time I kind of heard about LeBron and the type of basketball player he was in the 6th grade. They have an AAU, you know, the AAU program in the United States is really big. So he was playing AAU basketball. So all summer or whenever their AAU team was in some type of tournament, they were always coming back and winning. And LeBron was always part of that team. So that's when I really started to know his name.
Eux, les jeunes pauvres noirs de l'Ohio au maillot de piètre qualité. Ils parvinrent à épater la galerie au tournoi AAU. Dans une enceinte pleine à craquer de Floride, les Shooting Stars se hissèrent jusqu'en finale de la compétition, face à des jeunes Californiens bien plus arrogants. Le match était serré du début à la fin, la balle de la gagne atterrit dans les mains de LeBron. C'est raté. Dans la majorité des cas, la belle histoire se serait arrêtée là. Les Shooting Stars auraient repris la route vers l'Ohio et le cours de leur vie sans grandes opportunités. Et pourtant, la bande à LeBron James avait forgé une véritable fraternité. Pour eux, hors de question de briser leur groupe, peu importe si le meneur Drew Joyce Jr. ne faisait pas plus d'1m50.
Those group of players that he played with, there was like Willie McGee, Drew Joyce, Sheon Cotton, Romeo, Travis, those guys who become the Fab Five. They were all playing together all through AAU. So after they played in the AAU National Championship in Florida, their 8th grade, they lost by 2 points, but they didn't want to break up playing together because, you know, after 8th grade, you know, they all had to go to high school and some of them lived in different school districts. So they all decided they wanted to play together in high school. So they all enrolled in St. Vincent St. Mary. And that's where they all played and kind of started putting together that dynasty that they had at St. V. So it all started in 9th grade when they all decided they wanted to play together. A lot of the schools, the public schools around Akron, they were courting LeBron, hoping LeBron would come to their school. But really, they all decided wherever little Drew would go, wherever he could play, that's where they all were going to go.
Au lieu de rejoindre les lycées afro-américains qui draguaient les Shooting Stars, ces derniers décidèrent de s'engager avec le lycée blanc de St. Vincent, St. Mary. Vous l'avez compris, hors de question de laisser Drew Joyce Jr. sur le côté. La loyauté, voilà une notion déjà bien engrainée dans l'esprit du jeune LeBron James.
Sports is everything. It helped me have a brotherhood, chemistry, loyalty that I could show to people.
It's been a perfect season for the St. Vincent St. Mary Fighting Irish. Undefeated, nationally ranked, and in the Division III State Final Four. A key reason is the outstanding efforts of 6'5" freshman LeBron James.
James conclut sa première saison lycéenne avec 21 points et 6 rebonds de moyenne. Formidablement athlétique, le joueur participa également dans la formation de football américain du lycée. Mais enfin, c'était vers la balle orange que son cœur penchait et bien lui en a pris. C'est simple, son équipe ne connut pas une seule défaite de toute la saison.
Well, you know, it wasn't really a stardom or fandom type of deal his first 2 years, because their first 2 years they were just really good team. They were freshmen, really. I mean, you know, their freshman year, you know, LeBron started, a couple other guys started, but there were some seniors on the team. But it was just the fact that these guys were, you know, 14, 15-year-old freshmen on a team that went 27-0. So that was kind of unique, you know. Then the following year, they made it back to the state championship as sophomores. And it wasn't like, at that point, it still wasn't this phenomenon. It was just these guys were really outstanding. Let's see if they had longevity. Let's see if they could win 4 state championships.
To LeBron for Jim!
goes LeBron all the way. Two-handed jam. LeBron James has about a 40-inch vertical leap, unlimited range on his jump shot, but the strength of his game could be his passing. Last season, he won a second state championship and was the first sophomore named to USA Today's All-America team.
2001. LeBron sortait d'une saison sophomore à 25 points et 7 rebonds de moyenne. Encore une fois, l'équipe de son lycée fut tout simplement invincible et gagna le titre de l'État. L'attention commença à se faire voir sur la personne de James, qui fut élu meilleur jeune joueur de l'Ohio. Mais enfin, des bons joueurs lycéens qui disparaissent des radars, l'Amérique en avait vu beaucoup. Mis à part les initiés de l'État, LeBron James et son équipe étaient encore anonymes dans le pays. Tout cela changea lors de sa 3e année lycéenne. En 2001, le magazine Slam écrivit que LeBron James était possiblement le meilleur jeune joueur lycéen du pays. Mais la planète du basketball fut véritablement secouée lorsque la prestigieuse revue Sports Illustrated s'intéressa de près aux joueurs.
But really the fandom and like just the hysteria started in February of LeBron's junior year. That's when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And that's when everything started, because you had this kid on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I think at the time he was only the second junior outside of Lou Alcindor, who was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, that changed everything, because I remember the day that he was on the cover, I went to the high school to cover practice, and there were live trucks, TV live trucks outside the gym with the antennas, just all around the school. And there were people lined up wanting his signature on the magazine.
He was on the cover last year of Sports Illustrated, on the cover of ESPN magazine this week, and that has all created curiosity, curiosity, curiosity.
He's like the next Michael Jordan, so my brother told me he had to get a picture. Come on, LeBron.
James has created such a buzz that his team can no longer play here in its own gym. It's too small.
LeBron James has his own t-shirt that you can buy here at the game.
You know that Adidas and Nike are apparently at war over this kid already?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron. That's one team you got to buy a ticket to go see, St. V.
That's the moment I realized that this is something I should chronicle. Actually, that's when I decided to write a book about LeBron, because I'd never seen anything like that in my career.
En l'espace d'une saison, LeBron James devint une véritable sensation du pays. Du jamais vu dans l'histoire. Son équipe du lycée joua à domicile dans des enceintes de plus en plus importantes et fut même diffusée en prime time sur ESPN. Le Fab Four des Shooting Stars de l'Ohio, qui avait commencé son aventure dans des centres communautaires de l'Armée du Salut, était désormais des vedettes nationales. En tête d'affiche, évidemment LeBron James. Dès son plus jeune âge, le futur King démontra des qualités qui ne le quitteront plus jamais. Loyauté, altruisme, maturité.
Obviously he had the talent. He was very talented physically. He had all, the height, the strength, all of that.
Offensive rebound. Here's James. Look at the pass.
I think it was just his basketball IQ at the time. I mean, he knew the game so well. He was on a whole different level as far as the basketball IQ. And so when he's playing with other guys, he brought that same level. He allowed those guys to he lifted those guys as well.
Not being cocky, but that's just how player I am. I'm guaranteed I'm not gonna let my team lose.
A gigantic mistake on their part. Right. James to Joyce for three.
Our team has never been the biggest team, not the most athletic, not the quickest, but about our team, we share the ball. And if you had the best player on your team, say for instance me, and I like to pass the ball, they're gonna look up to you and they're gonna do the same.
Together. And he likes setting him up. Here's Weems for three.
I just don't like getting all this for myself. It's all about the team. And I can't win by myself, 5-on-1, no matter how good I am.
One of his good buddies.
Somebody to pass me. I mean, they say I'm the best player in the country, and I wanted to keep it that way.
This is the guy that's really impressed me.
James with certainly the ability to make it look like he can go to the next level.
The reason I think that a lot of the nation knows me is because my determination shows off on the court.
Competition stolen by Brandon Weems.
as great of a basketball player he was in high school, just having that basketball mentality that you just couldn't teach. I mean, that's something that, you know, you would have to either be born with or play 1,000 games before you could get all of that. And he had it. I mean, it was just something that was just a God-given talent.
James outside for three.
He's an all-around great player. He has it all, definitely. So he's very athletic. He has a lot of poise, and he can do almost everything.
And LeBron James is the best high school basketball player I have ever seen.
I've seen him play. He's very talented.
For me, it could be compared to Michael, Magic, you know, Kobe, all the ones that's making so success in the league. You know, it's great, and I'm gonna just keep working hard. And someday, it could be another one that could be compared to me.
LeBron conclut son dernier exercice lycéen avec 31 points, 8 rebonds, 6 passes décisives de moyenne et évidemment un nouveau titre de champion. Pourtant, malgré tous les dollars déjà promis, malgré toute la pression, James fut toujours empreint d'une incroyable maturité. Son but était d'écrire l'histoire et aucun facteur externe ne pouvait y déroger.
I had already covered, you know, so to speak, major sports and major teams. So covering LeBron in high school wasn't this, you know, I'm covering LeBron. It was just I was covering another high school athlete who was just really, really outstanding. So obviously I had to talk to him almost every day, especially during the basketball season. For LeBron, he was a well-adjusted, I mean, people may think otherwise, but he was a well-adjusted young man for all of the hype and media coverage that he got. He, in my opinion, he handled it well because, I mean, what other high school senior who's in high school and it's April and you're still in high school and the night before you signed a $90 million contract with Nike, and then the very next day you have to go to school and sit in civics class. I mean, think about what other high school student would do that.
Come on, I'm going over there. I love people, and me not being around nobody doesn't help me at all because, you know, I don't have nobody to relate to. Then they gonna think I'm crazy if I'm talking to myself.
He was goofy and funny, like when he was around his friends, because that's what he wanted. I mean, but when it came to being a very mature guy for everything that he was exposed to, the money, the fame, all of that, he was very grounded and knew how to handle himself very well for a young guy who was a multimillionaire, you know, at 18 while he still was in school.
Déjà aussi populaire que des joueurs NBA, LeBron James décida sans surprise de s'inscrire à la draft, sans même passer par la case universitaire. La suite, vous la connaissez sans doute. Les Cavaliers de Cleveland, encore une fois d'une médiocrité sans nom, obtinrent le premier choix de la draft. Pour toute une équipe, pour toute une ville, pour tout un peuple, le Messie était arrivé. De là à totalement faire taire les critiques, pas tout à fait.
I've heard some people say he's ready for the NBA now. Is he?
Well, I don't know if he's ready for the NBA now.
I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that.
I thought he would be a very quality, he'd be a quality six man, you know, his rookie season. I thought he could come in and not miss a beat coming off the bench. I never thought that he would be an instant star. I knew he would be an NBA star at some point, but not instantly. I didn't expect him to be that much of a star that quickly. Really, it's hard to explain because it was such a height of euphoria for everybody around here. Because at the time the Cavaliers were struggling. I think there were even talks of the Cavaliers being sold because they were so bad for so many years. Not since then had the Cavaliers been, you know, relevant prior to LeBron coming to Cleveland. So it was like a savior for that franchise, for the city, for that team, for Northeast Ohio.
Here's the upside. Akron, where you grew up, is a short drive from Cleveland. You're with the hometown team. Here's the downside. The hometown team was 17-65 last year. That's why they're in the lottery, and that's why they're going to get you.
And that's why I say I can make an instant impact, because I don't think you can get any worse from the kind of season they had last year. But I think my competitive drive and my willingness to win is going to make them a lot better.
He understood how talented he was as a player. He just knew that he was better. I don't want to say he thought it was better in an arrogant way. He just knew whenever he got on the court, he was one of the best on the court. And so he had that confidence of, I have the talent. So I don't like to lose. I'm going to do everything I need to do to win. And when you have that mentality, that's going to put you in positive scenarios. That's going to help you win.
There's no pressure at all. I've been getting pressure since I was 10 years old. I don't think there's no pressure for me because I'm doing something that I love to do, and that's play the game of basketball. I mean, is there any pressure to ask me these questions? There's no pressure because y'all know how to do what y'all do, right?
Voilà ce qui rend l'ascension de LeBron James si unique en son genre. Avec la lumière sur lui depuis son adolescence et une pression énorme sur ses épaules, le natif d'Akron n'a jamais oublié l'essence de sa quête. Celle de s'imposer comme l'un des meilleurs joueurs de tous les temps, mais aussi de déjouer tous les pronostics de la vie. Pour cela, nul besoin de faire cavalier seul. Durant toute sa carrière, le King fit toujours confiance à ses coéquipiers pour embrasser sa philosophie.
I'm LeBron James from Akron, Ohio, from the inner city. I'm not even supposed to be here.
I've always been the leader of the pack. I've always been the commander. I've always been, the person in front. I've always wanted to be the leader. I've always wanted what everybody else didn't want. So, when things is placed upon me, it's another challenge. If that's the label they're gonna give me, and they want me to, to carry the torch to the league, I have no problem doing that.
Aucun doute que le don de LeBron James vient en partie du ciel. Mais cela veut-il dire que nous ne pouvons pas en tirer un enseignement personnel ? Durant toute sa carrière, qui n'est pas encore finie, James a su écouter des proches de confiance, mais surtout son fort intérieur, qui ne le guidait que vers le succès. Que l'on aime ou non le personnage, impossible de ne pas puiser dans sa vie une source d'inspiration. Au royaume des rêveurs, LeBron est roi.